And hello everyone, welcome into an episode of Matt Sports Talk. Now in this video I am going to be talking a little bit about a record-breaking run from the Indiana Wesleyan University women's volleyball team. Now if you've been with me during my videos for basketball, then you'll know that I typically just talk about Crossroads League men's and women's basketball, which I'm still going to be doing that. Of course, the particular conference break rather is going on right now. That doesn't resume until January 3rd, as it is Christmas and New Year's break in terms of the Crossroads League. So again, all those daily game recaps are going to be coming your way beginning either Sunday, January 4th or Monday, January 5th. But I did want to record this video and talk about something that was really historic last night, and that was Indiana Wesleyan women's volleyball team winning a third straight national championship, which is just absolutely amazing. And not just that, but how they were able to get there in order to, really how they were just able to get to the national title game is really just an unbelievable story, with beating number 5 in the country, Corbin, out of Oregon on Saturday afternoon, 3-2, and then of course upsetting number 1 in the country, Eastern Oregon, on Monday night, also 3-2. Now in that game, the Wildcats trailed 2-1, and then in the game against Corbin, it was really back and forth all 5 sets. The Wildcats, though, were able to prevail in that one, and then of course in the opening rounds of pool play, 3-0 sweeps over Cornerstone last week, and as well a sweep over IU Kokomo that the Wildcats were able to achieve. Now, at least some things I also wanted to highlight in this video is the senior setter Abigail Porter for the Wildcats, and she had an amazing career, and for her career she achieved over 5,000 assists, which is just absolutely amazing. And for the Wildcats, as a team, they joined only 3 other schools to win 3 or more national championships, and the most recent one was former NAIA member Fresno Pacific out of California. They won 4 straight national titles, 2007, 2008, 2009, and 2010, respectively. Now, prior to that, the only other team, the previous team before that to win 3 or more national titles, was Brigham Young out of Hawaii, that achieved 4 straight from 1994 to 1997, and then prior to them, Hawaii Hilo, that achieved the milestone from 1981 to 1984. So Hawaii Hilo and Brigham Young Hawaii won 4 straight national titles, 81 to 84, and then 94 to 90, or 93 to 97, I think, 94, 97, I believe, for Brigham Young Hawaii, respectively, and then of course Fresno Pacific, 2007 to 2010. So really elite company that the Wildcats of Indiana Wesleyan have joined. And for me personally, I at least as a big IWU fan, it's just absolutely, and of course I'm not trying to be biased toward any teams in these videos, but at least as a big Wildcat fan, just being able to witness something historic this year is just absolutely amazing. Being able to support them, in their Crossroads League match here against Mount Vernon Nazarene back on October 22nd, and then being able to go to the first ever IWU home volleyball game that we had ever attended back on November 8th against Grace College in the opening round of the Crossroads League tournament. And then of course, just a little more than literally a month after that, to now see the Wildcats win a 3rd straight title is absolutely amazing. And of course I know how hard they wanted it. They, of course, all the seniors, they've just pretty much all season have been on a mission to win a 3rd straight league title, and especially because this is a Wildcat team that started 3-3 at the beginning part of the season without their best player Ava Geroldsma, and then going 30-1 when she came back fully healthy. It's just absolutely amazing. And of course their only blemish during that length of time was Mount Vernon Nazarene here on October 22nd, and that stunning 3-0 loss. But of course that was without the senior NAIA Player of the Year setter Abigail Porter, so obviously that take that game with a grain of salt. And then of course, and what's crazy is that the Wildcats, they've just, I'm speechless, to be completely honest. And I was trying so hard to stay awake last night, during the game, and I was just too exhausted, and went to bed and slept a couple hours, and then really kept waking up about every hour after that. But but again, it just waking up this morning and seeing that this team was able to pull that out against a really, really talented Red Raider team, Northwestern College out of Orange City, Iowa, is just absolutely amazing. And for the Red Raiders, that was their first loss in 2 months to the date, which was back on October 9th against then number 9 Oklahoma Wesleyan, which was also a 3-1 loss for the Red Raiders. And outside of that game and outside of the GPAC championship game against Concordia out in Nebraska, when the Red Raiders lost one set, 20 out of the previous 22 matches that the Red Raiders had won were all in straight sets, 3-0 sweeps. So for Iowa to end a 22-game match winning streak that the Red Raiders had going into the game last night was just absolutely amazing. That is for sure. And then of course, obviously, hats off to the Red Raiders for a heck of a season, and Stella Winterfield is just a phenomenal player for them, and I have no doubt that she'll be just as good for her senior year next year. That's for sure. And of course, Northwestern, another great faith-based school that is Christ-centered, and that's what it's all about, honestly. So looking at some key stats for last night, in last night's game, you had Abigail Porter that had 48 assists last night, 12 digs, 3 blocks. Shay Williams, as a freshman, 14 kills on a 312 hitting percentage, 3 blocks as well. Marissa Mullins, 15 kills and 4 blocks. And then Ava Geroldsma, boy, what an amazing player she has been. 20 kills and 11 digs last night, so another double-double for her. That is for sure. And then, of course, looking at the full box score from last night. And of course, I typically don't recap each and every game. I know I did this at least occasionally during the regular season when there were massive upsets, but I figured, why not do a recap of the championship game. So you had in the first set, Indiana Wesleyan hit 212 with 5 errors. The Red Raiders of Northwestern hit 200 with 7 errors, so pretty even there. Then in the second set, the Wildcats hit just 122 with 5 errors. Northwestern hit 167 with 8 errors, so pretty even there. Then in the fourth set, really the tide turned in the third set, The Wildcats 6 errors on a 333 hitting percentage. The Red Raiders 5 errors on just a 172 hitting percentage. So that's obviously when the momentum really shifted in the Wildcats' favor, was in the third set. And then the fourth and final deciding set, the Wildcats only had 3 errors, 4 errors for the Red Raiders, so in that category was pretty even. But difference, though, the hitting percentage, the Red Raiders hit just 258 in the fourth set compared to 455 for the Wildcats, so that obviously tells you all you need to know. And the Wildcats end their season 33-4, and the Red Raiders end their season 33-4 as well. The set scores were Iowa 25-23 in the first, 25-23 Northwestern in the second, 25-18 Iowa in the third, and 25-19 Iowa in the fourth and final deciding set. So looking at stats, you had Kamea Murray with 11 digs on the match, 3 assists. Abigail Porter, 5 kills, 12 digs, 48 assists, so really good to see that. You had Katie Nodder with 5 assists and 22 digs, so really, really amazing, again, to see that. And I alluded to Shay Williams a few minutes ago, 14 kills on a 312 hitting percentage with 2 digs. Marissa Mullins, 15 kills on a 312 hitting percentage with 2 digs. You had Marin Sanchez with 8 kills and 3 digs. You also had Jessica Ickes with 2 kills and 2 digs. You had Autumn Kohlauer, also got some playing time, at least from the serving position. And then Yessie Louise had 4 assists and 9 digs. So really, really good numbers there. And then Ava Geroldsma with 11 digs, 20 kills. So what an amazing career she had. And she ended her career with 2,065 career kills. And that was 20 short of the all-time record of 2,085 that was set back from 1999 to 2002. So had Geroldsma not been injured the first 8 games of the season, she definitely would have been the all-time career kills leader. No question about that. But still, to be second place in that category is absolutely amazing. That is for sure. The Wildcats as a team hit 260 last night compared to just 195 for the Red Raiders. And for the Red Raiders, this was kind of a home game for them. They're from Orange City, Iowa, which is about an hour and a half northeast of Sioux City. So, they kind of had the home crowd, out there last night cheering them on. Wasn't quite enough, but still, what a season they had. So looking at stats for them, you had Maddie Nemmers with 1 dig on the match. Naya Pothoff with 19 assists and 16 digs. So really good numbers there. You had Sydney Ustra with 6 kills and 7 digs. You had Stella Winterfield, who was their best player, 20 kills, 18 digs, so a double-double for her. And you also had Maddie Sampson with 9 kills and 2 digs. You had Liv Reitzma with only 1 kill, but she did have 32 assists, though, and 9 digs, so really good numbers there. And then you had Xavier Metzger with 8 kills and 3 digs on a .353 hitting percentage, so that's really good. And then Riley Franklin, 10 kills and 1 dig off a .381 hitting percentage, so again, really good statistics there. And then you had Emma Westfall with 2 kills and 1 dig, and then Maggie Bloom with 5 assists and 12 digs. So really good to see that. And then Tierney Huss with 9 digs as well. And that was your matchup there. And that concludes recapping the championship round. And I want to, lastly, before ending this video, again, I talked about the Wildcats' success earlier on in this video, which was just absolutely amazing, what they were able to achieve this year, and just how hungry this team has been, or was, all year long is pretty amazing. That is for sure. And then looking at, I wanted to take a minute and look at their full roster and first of all, I guess I should say, I would like to end this video by giving a shout out to the whole entire coaching staff for the Wildcats. Of course, you have Candace Moats, that it's just been absolutely amazing in her 23rd, just wrapped up her 23rd season at IWU, her 41st season of her career as a head coach. And she has just been absolutely amazing. And then looking at her coaching statistics, the Wildcats 33-4 this year, so 737 and 220 her overall record, 300 career wins this year in the Crossroads League, only 44 losses, the one blemish coming to Mount Vernon Nazarene. And then overall for her career, she has 1,044 for her career, and then 1,044 and 376 for her coaching career. So really good numbers there. And obviously it's not about the numbers, it's just about the girls that she coaches each and every year, and obviously definitely keeps Christ at the center of the program, and that's what it's all about. And also want to give a shout out to her assistant coaches, William Robbins and Ashley Robbins, the husband and wife teaming up this year to be assistant coaches, so a shout out to them and the wonderful job they did. And then Hannah True, the graduate assistant, shout out to her for doing a really good job. And then, of course, the unbelievable support staff of Indiana Wesleyan on the volleyball side. Of course, you have Joel Renacre, who's the assistant SID, meaning Sports Information Director, does an outstanding job. And then, of course, Zach Hobson, who is the head athletic trainer for volleyball. Shout out to him for keeping all the athletes as healthy as possible throughout the regular season. And then, of course, all your managers. You have Maddie Swan, who's the volleyball operations manager. Shout out to her, and as she'll be graduating here soon. And also shout out to Evan Mann, who was the team manager, and then Sadie Humbarger, who was the manager for home match management. So I want to give all of them a shout out for the wonderful job that they do. And then last but not least, give a shout out to everybody on the team that has been part of this team. In fact, all the seniors this year, they have been on the active roster to witness three straight national championships, and the only year that they did not win a national championship was all of the seniors' freshman year. That was back in 2022 when they suffered a stunning loss at home in the first round to Rocky Mountain College out of Oregon. So looking at the full roster, giving everybody a shout out, Kamea Murray, who is a sophomore from Muncie, Indiana. Abigail Porter, I alluded to her earlier on, a senior from Winona Lake, Indiana. And boy, what a career she had. As well as Katie Notter, a senior from Danville, Indiana. And then Ella Mock, who is a middle blocker / right side hitter, sophomore from Gaston, Indiana. Went to West Dell High School. And then shout out to Alex Lloyd, another senior on the team from Prior Lake, Minnesota. And then Ava Barnes, a freshman from North Branch, Michigan. Shout out the Wolverine State, go blue. And then you had Avery Caskey, who is a outside hitter / right side hitter, junior from Belton, Missouri, transferred from Park University. So shout out to her. Also a shout out to Avery Bial, who is a 5'10" sophomore outside / right side hitter from Damascus, Maryland, transferred from Lock Haven University. And then I alluded to Shea Williams, who is a freshman from Muncie, Indiana. J.C. Folkers, a junior from Elkhart, Indiana. And then I mentioned Marissa Mullins, senior from Circleville, Ohio, transferred from the University of Bridgeport. Allison Folenkamp, a junior from Fort Recovery, Ohio. Maren Sanchez, sophomore from Dyer, Indiana. Daniela Joseph, junior from Marion, Indiana. So hometown girl, as her hometown is where the Wildcats' home university is located. And then Jessica Ickes from Canton, Ohio. Shout out Stark County, up there right off Interstate 77, transferred from Lake Erie College. Then Brianna Tubergen, junior from Rockford, Michigan. Shout out to her again, go blue. Autumn Kohlauer, a sophomore from Chandler, Arizona. So man, that's true dedication, going to school all the way over in Indiana. And then Ava Geroldsma, a senior, Hudsonville, Michigan, and boy, what a stellar career she's had. Definitely thankful and blessed to know her and for us to be friends, that's for sure. Then you had Yessie Louise, a senior from Cuba. So an international student coming to IWU, nothing like it. And then Jade Rodriguez, a junior from Lima, Peru. And so she is part of this Lady Wildcat team, and definitely want to give her a shout out as well. So that will do it for this video, and I hope that you really enjoyed this championship recap video. And if you did, or if it was super helpful to you, please feel free to like this video and leave me a comment down below, or subscribe to my channel, and any one of those options helps me out greatly, and I truly appreciate any feedback that you may provide me. And for those of you that are brand new to my channel, thank you so much for subscribing. Please continue to do so. And for those of you that are already subscribed, thank you so much. I really appreciate that, and please keep on subscribing. Please keep sharing this channel with your friends, your family, anybody that you know. My goal is to hit 500 subscribers by February 21st, 2026. So please, let's hit that number by that time. So again, I really appreciate you taking the time to check out this video. And again, I hope you have a blessed rest of your week, a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I'll definitely be seeing you in the new year on either Sunday, January 4th or Monday, January 5th, recapping all of the Crossroads League games from Saturday, January 3rd, because there are quite a lot of them, that is for sure, that I will be recapping at that time. So again, thank you so much for tuning into this video today. And again, I hope you have a great rest of your week, a fantastic Christmas, a Merry Christmas once again, Happy New Year, and may God bless you and your family always.